So happy birthday to Piphy. We're 65 today. 65 years. Is it messed up that I feel younger than I did 15 years ago? Mentally and physically? Actually, there was a time in my 30s and 40s where I thought I felt 85, so maybe that's why I'm getting back this spurt of feeling pretty spry. I'm actually really grateful, though. I'm grateful that I've gotten to be here this long and that I've got to have such a wide array of experiences that have taught me so much. I learned something really cool this last week, though. Um, you know, people that know me know that back when there were paper medical files, mine was scary. And it might have had 2 volumes, and each of them might have been about 3 inches thick. Problem started when I was 4. Actually, that's not even the beginning, because I remember my parents talking about how I came and my little papers from when I was a baby that I had a congenital hip disorder and they wanted to put braces on me, and my parents did not want a disabled looking adopted child. I mean, when you're meant to be part of the American Dream package with the white picket fence, and you don't want your child to look like the disabled child poster child. Everything needs to be perfect, which is why you don't embarrass the family. Number 1 rule. I digress. I've had physical problems my entire life, from the hip issues to night terrors when I was really young, to extreme, what I now know was likely myofascial pain syndrome showing up when I was about 4, and all kinds of things, chronic nosebleeds, to let's not go into it all. Just every few to several years, another diagnosis was added to the stack. And by the time I was 17, one of those diagnoses was migraine headaches, and they were super frequent. And I don't know, something about my makeup means that while there are some migraine headaches that come and I must sequester myself into the most dark hole I could find, other times I have gone 23 days in a month and made it to work 18 of those days, other than weekends, even though I had a migraine headache. And anyway, back then in 1978, when I was diagnosed, my little tiny town of Fortuna, California doctor said that these were occipitally triggered migraines. And so, I knew occipital was something to do with the eye. I thought it was something to do with this bone, but apparently I came to find out later about the cranial nerves and how the occipital nerve was one of them. And after I was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, I found out that lots of people with trigeminal neuralgia also have occipital neuralgia, which neuralgia just means pain. Pain in the nerves. Nerve pain. Anyway, so I had these migraines all these years. I have had multiple treatments, multiple tests, multiple imaging, they even had me at one time putting Marcaine, on a cotton swab up my nose. Oxygen therapy was another treatment that was tried. I tried Emitrex. It made me feel like I was going to have a heart attack. So I didn't try any more of the new ones that were that type of migraine drug. One medication that is a barbiturate that was mixed with codeine and caffeine was what they finally gave me that helped me with my migraines. For the most part, as long as I took that medication before the migraine kicked in too intensely, I didn't need to go into the doctor's office and get a shot of Toradol, which almost every time resolved the migraine. It's an anti-inflammatory. Instant release when it's been given subdurally under the skin. At any rate, I'm reading my book this week, and the chapter's on neuropsychology, and it includes some things like schizophrenia, but it also includes a set of brain issues that include migraine. Well, the root of migraine is the trigeminal nerve. The reason I have trigeminal neuralgia is because I have a loop in one of the arteries in my brain, and it touches the place where the 1, 2, 3 branches of the trigeminal nerve come together. It's called the ganglion. It's the place where they meet and come outside the brain into the face. And the trigeminal nerves, A, B, and C, they control both sensory and motor function. So I have a loop in this nerve that just touches. It's not compressing the nerve like a lot of people with trigeminal neuralgia experience. However, if there is inflammation, such as there was when I had my bridge work done and I needed a nerve block there, or when my very back bottom tooth needed a root canal because the tooth had died, that inflammation made this all come together, and I was experiencing a compression regularly and constantly, like people that actually have something pressing into that nerve. Well, that all explains that, and I likely did not, the loop didn't make itself. I haven't had a brain injury in that area that would have, nothing's gonna make my artery go whoop. It came that way. So that is super cool, because studying my course of study, the way I planned it, has been a study in myself. And I highly encourage it. Especially if for some reason you're between careers and you need a new thing, that go to college, get your bachelor's degree. If your socioeconomic status won't allow you to pay for that, then apply for student aid, go to college, and find out about yourself. And then along the way, you'll find some way to use that knowledge and your experience together to help other people that are going through similar things as you, that have the questions that you're answering for yourself in school. I'm telling you, it is probably the best thing I've ever done for myself. And I do not regret not going to college in my 20s. I love being able to interact with people in their 20s today. At my university, people in their 40s. My university is full of people of all different ages. My instructors are of all different ages and levels of education. I have instructors that are graduate students, and I have instructors that are doctorate students or doctorate professors. And one of the cool things about going back at my age and it being something that is not a have to but a want to is that giving myself to the learning of the material in every class is not hard. Doing well is not hard because all I have to do is really understand what the assignment is and do what's asked of me. So in doing so, I have learned so much about myself. I have learned a lot about the dynamics that created me, and I am so proud of the progress that I have made. Anybody that saw me at 34 years of age would never believe that I would become this stable. It's true. At that time, I was fragile and volatile simultaneously, and that was very difficult to manage, and so I suppressed and escaped that all. But anyway, it's super cool. My life has changed so much, having discovered a meaningful path, and no matter what it is, I have friends that of every age are starting over and doing it different, and they're embracing what motivates them. They're embracing doing things that are so meaningful to them that when they wake up in the morning, they're excited about the day. I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of life coaches that agree and have probably said it, and I'm not trying to plagiarize, but when you want to do the day, it makes a whole heck of a lot of difference about how the day goes. And I am a firm believer that it's not have a nice day, it's make it a nice day. It's up to me to make it a nice day. Nobody's going to change my nice day. Not that guy that's not the guy that does the thing that made me do the Facebook post about him and gave him a nickname. It's not anybody. I have learned that it matters not. Maybe all the adversity has been really good for me in that it doesn't matter what you throw at me. I'll build a fucking house out of it. Yeah, it's kind of true. And I can be carrying my whole entire life in a 20 by 30 suitcase and build it back. So, and I've proven that to myself over and over again. So, yeah, 65 years, and they have not been easy years. And I have had the opportunity to learn some of the rarest lessons there are to learn as a human being. And in getting through those lessons, I have information that I know can help other people reduce their suffering the way that information reduced mine. Anyway, I'm starting my 66th year today. And I just want to wish everybody a great week, a great weekend. Enjoy your days of thanks. And don't forget how important every day is. Make those seconds that you'd never regret the way you spent. right. I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.